The knock came after midnight, sharp, impatient, merciless. The kind of knock that doesn't ask, only takes. Daniel froze, his breath caught halfway in his chest, while his 6-year-old daughter Lily slept curled against his arm on the thin mattress. The apartment was dark except for the streetlight bleeding through cracked blinds, and in that moment, Daniel already knew. Before the door even opened, before the words were spoken, his life had reached the edge. What happens to a father when the world decides he has nothing left to give? Stay with me, because the door that closed on Daniel that night was not the one that would define him. Another door was waiting. One that would change everything. Daniel's hands trembled as he opened the door. The landlord didn't step inside, he didn't need to. The folded notice, the practiced sigh, the look that said, "This is business, not personal." 30 days had already passed. Mercy had expired. Daniel tried to speak, tried to explain again about the missed shifts, the factory layoffs, the hospital bills after Lily's asthma attack. But the words fell uselessly between them. By 1:17 a.m., Daniel and Lily were standing outside with 2 suitcases, a backpack, and a trash bag filled with clothes. The door shut behind them with a sound that felt permanent, the cold bit hard. Lily stirred, rubbing her eyes, her small voice breaking the silence. "Daddy, are we going home?" Daniel swallowed. He forced a smile that nearly shattered his face. "Yeah, baby. We're just going somewhere else for a bit." He wrapped his jacket around her, though it left him shivering. Pride screamed at him to call no one. He hadn't spoken to his brother in years. Friends drift away when life gets heavy. And shelters, he'd heard the stories. Long lines, shorter hope, they walked. Past dark windows filled with lives that hadn't cracked open tonight. Past a bakery that smelled like warmth and mornings. Daniel's legs burned, but stopping felt worse. He kept replaying every choice he'd made since Lily's mother died, every overtime shift he couldn't take because Lily was sick, every night he chose bedtime stories over job applications. He wondered if loving his daughter this fiercely had cost him everything. They reached the old church near the freeway just before Lily started coughing again. Daniel panicked. He sat her down on the steps, digging through his bag for the inhaler. As her breathing steadied, his broke. Silent tears fell onto the concrete. He pressed his forehead to hers. "I'm sorry," he whispered, though he didn't know exactly for what. For failing? For surviving? For still hoping? That's when the church door opened. A warm light spilled out, cutting through the darkness like an answer. Daniel stood abruptly, ready to apologize, ready to be told to leave. But the woman in the doorway didn't scold. She didn't ask questions. She simply said, "It's too cold for a child to be outside." Her voice was calm, steady, like someone who had seen storms before. "Come in." Inside, the air smelled like coffee and old wood. Lily clung to Daniel's neck, eyes wide. The woman introduced herself as Mrs. Alvarez. She wrapped Lily in a blanket and handed Daniel a mug that made his fingers ache with relief. No paperwork. No judgment. Just warmth. For the first time that night, Daniel exhaled. They slept on cots in a side room. Daniel barely slept at all, afraid this kindness might vanish if he closed his eyes. But morning came gently, with sunlight through stained glass and Lily laughing with another child over breakfast. Mrs. Alvarez sat with Daniel and listened, not like someone waiting to fix him, but like someone who believed he wasn't broken. "This church runs a small community program," she said. "Job connections. Temporary housing. It's not charity. It's a hand." Daniel nodded, ashamed of how badly he needed one. Days turned into weeks. Daniel found work through a contractor who needed someone reliable. He was early every day. He worked until his hands blistered. Lily stayed after school at the church center, her laughter returning, her coughs fewer. They moved into a small shared apartment, nothing fancy, but clean, safe, theirs. Daniel paid rent again. That alone felt like winning a war, but the real change wasn't the job or the apartment. It was the way Daniel began to see himself. Not as the man who was evicted at night, but as the father who didn't let that night be the end point. One evening, months later, Daniel returned to the church with Lily. This time, he carried bags of groceries. Mrs. Alvarez smiled when she saw him. "You don't have to," she said. "I know," Daniel replied. "But I want to." Lily tugged on his hand. "Daddy, this is where the door opened, right?" she asked. Daniel knelt beside her, his eyes burning. "Yeah, sweetheart. This is where everything changed. Because sometimes, life doesn't fall apart loudly. Sometimes it knocks at midnight and leaves you standing in the cold. But if you keep walking, if you keep holding on, there might be a door you never expected. And when it opens, it doesn't just let you in. It reminds you who you are."